actresses. And Catherine Hepburn plays someone who's not a very good actress. And she has to walk across the stage with the calla lilies and say her line, and she says, "Look, the calla lilies are blooming." She said, really flat. And it's hysterical the way she does it. So she just sort of holds them and then she puts them down.
I've always enjoyed her.
I watched that movie not too long ago, and watching her do that scene so terribly and then go back and do it perfectly, it's just, Meryl Streep did that same thing in the new Only Murders in the Building. She did a terrible job, and then she was like, she did this brilliant job, and it was like, wow. All right. We need a little trash can. I hope this stays lit.
Both of you, Unitarians, are all in the Washington Post this morning letters to the editor. So,
About?
well, there was a column about the nuns, non-believers.
Oh, I'm talking about that today.
Oh, really? And the column writer said he and his daughter went to the Unitarian church.
And it's all white and elderly.
Right here.
And did people respond? Did people
People responded, and this is how they felt in the church. They didn't say, well, there were some happy young people. Yeah, but the man was talking about equity, compassion, and social justice. And I thought, before I saw Unitarian, I said, well, that's
He needs to know us.
So anyway, but I think there were 4 responses.
Yeah.
All without hearing.
That's fantastic.
So I hope the man takes his kid again.
Right.
So a few years ago, we tried to rein in the time thing with this clock up here. So I bought that clock someplace.
Oh, fantastic.
But what I never did was figure out how it works. It's got mystery buttons.
Is it on time now?
It's a good thing you've got. It's probably horribly wrong.
It's very wrong now. Oh, what a bummer, because I really need a clock in here.
I'll,
Because this doesn't, I have to do that to make it.
I'll replace it. I'll find a clock.
That would be amazing.
Good morning.
Hello.
Angel has her shine back a little bit.
Thank you.
I wonder if this is the good stuff. Are you going to invite the Goodson family to join you to light the showers? Or?
If they don't come up, I'll invite them.
Okay.
Sandra? Yeah.
I don't know.
I think so.
Right, and Kim just said they're the redheads,
Yep.
but they're not here.
They're really quite cute. She's It's got this little brood for the kids.
If I see them, I'm going to mention, last week the problem was that the photo,
Yeah.
the light wasn't, and it went out. It should work just fine. And there's matches it.
I watched from home yesterday. I kind of like to watch from home because I see the product that we put out. I'm never quite sure whether the people back there pay attention to the product. They're more working on cues and making it all happen. But I sometimes wonder if they look at the screen and say, I wonder what he's showing here. I mean, Les used to leave the piano cover right in the frame. And he stopped doing that. And for a long time we had all this blue painter's tape holding down the wires of the piano. It seems to have gone, but I've got some brown tape there.
And look at this, to that very point.
I've never liked this one standing down here, but I don't know what else you can do. Hey, where did this come from? This is beautiful.
You had it, and it's kind of a match. It's got the same circles and everything.
Yeah, it's nice.
It was here all along. So hopefully the question of the organ altogether is still
Yeah.
alive.
It hasn't been played in 10 years.
Yeah, we're considering whether to donate it because Les would really like to use that for other instruments. We just have to think strategically.
He loved Asheville music. No.
We tried to sell one in Wyoming and no one was.
Up in Springfield, Mass, we had one, and it was a beauty, and we had an organist who was fabulously entertaining. I mean, she would really play, and we were enraptured by the thing to hear her. Now, once in a while, one of the teenagers.
Well, no, I just realized I didn't put out the roll. I'm going to do that. So that when we are ready to start. This is really easy. Have you ever done it before? Okay, well I just want to show you something because it didn't work last week. So when you're putting, this will go poof and turn to fire, but you can't press down on that flame or it'll go out. So just make sure you're kind of careful sticking it into the fire without pushing down, and then it'll do perfectly and you can hold it. Does that sound good? Terrific, terrific. And if you have any problems, we've got some more matches here, so we'll make it work. Thank you.
They said you can't miss them, and you can't miss them. Redheads are in fashion these days. Jen Psaki,
Oh, I know. I love her.
isn't she neat?
It's funny. I listened to a piece that she had done yesterday, probably, and then I was listening to it this morning, and I was just thinking about her journey. And her sister is a Unitarian Universalist minister,
No,
right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So they're both UU.
Yeah.
But our sister is one of my colleagues. Where did I see her sister? No one will know who Lorelai is. I mean, unless of course they do. know, she's very obviously professional, but when she's on television, on a podcast, she's dialed up to 11. She's much more relaxed and a little more off the cuff, but still just a firecracker.
Yeah, she's neat. What a surprise when she showed up. And I went, oh boy, this is worth watching.
I like the woman who's doing that now too. I don't see her as often, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I don't even know why. I just miss it more often. I think not as many things are happening.
A little bit hard of hearing. Comes with the territory. But this thing is quite neat. It just amplifies whatever's being done in the sound system. Yeah, it's quite directional. So, this should work and this should work.
I need to pay attention.
My script is in the way. I always have a welcome in it, sort of ready if I need it.
Great. I'm going to put that there, and then
Yeah.
you can lay yours on top of mine
Okay.
and pick it up.
And having this in paper is swell. I give you all the credit for that.
I really like it because it's a short cut. I can't
Yeah.
piece through the whole script and find the right.
When we used to have a big complicated one, part of the beauty of it was you could take notes and be, and when I go home I need to figure out who that poet is and things like that. So that's my priority.
Print it out. You can absolutely do that right now. You might mention, I don't know if you have time, but you might mention that in the announcements, just a reminder that if you have your print out, just print it out. Bring it in.
Simon is still a work in progress.
I'm glad to see that you're starting to advertise that. Things are going in a weird order. Good morning. It is so good to be together. I am Reverend Audette. I am the lead minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Asheville, and I am delighted to welcome you. I also want to make sure to take a moment and thank our special guest, Chris Rosser. You know and love him. Welcome back, Chris. Also helping us out today is Dr. Leslie and Simon and Charlie Marks, and we're so grateful for all of the folks who make our Sunday services and indeed the life of our congregation possible. It's so good to be together. And in fact, Vinny is also going to be having a special helping part, as she does every week, but this time in front of us. But as we get started, I want to invite you to take a moment, because whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever brings you here today, you are welcome in this place. And we share these words from Angela Herrera. Don't leave your broken heart at the door. Bring it to the altar of life. Don't leave your anger behind. It has high standards, and the world needs vision. Bring them with you, and your joy and your passion. Bring your loving and your courage and your conviction. Bring your need for healing and your powers to heal. There's work to do, and you have all that you need to do it right here in this room. So let's prepare our hearts for worship with this centering music.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our house. Cross the threshold. Enter the safest space, the place you can call home. Shed your burdens into comforting arms. Bring your laughter and your tears. Bring all of you. Welcome home to here and now. Wherever we gather, a circle in forever, made of hands and hearts, and a simple vow to love. Come one and all, cross the threshold. Let your soul find rest, be blessed with a hand to hold. Find your shelter, let your spirit be fed. Enter this house without walls. We'll wait for you, feel your heart's call here and now. Wherever we gather, a circle in forever, made of hands and hearts, and a simple vow to love. The doors are all wide open. Bring your whole, bring your broken, to the deepest communion. Welcome home to here and now. Wherever we gather, a circle in forever, made of hands and hearts, and a simple vow. Hands and hearts, and a simple vow. Hands and hearts, and a simple vow to love.
And good morning from me. As we light our chalice, and there we go, chalice lighters, thank you. As we light our chalice, we think of the hundreds of congregations around the world doing the same thing this morning. The rhythms and concerns of our everyday life remain, but they come to be held in a much larger context. Wow, well done, thanks. The flame on a chalice, the flicker of a candle, the lamps of our open faces brought near. In this place of silence and celebration, solemnity and music, we make a sanctuary and name this home. Now let us join in song. If you'll rise in body and spirit, we'll sing, "May Nothing Evil Cross This Door." Words will be on the screen.
Now I have a very quick, am I on? Can you hear me? Okay, great. I have a very quick story for you, but I have a question first for all of you down here. Has anybody ever heard of this author, Shel Silverstein? A couple of people maybe. Well, because you guys are doing something amazing after this, I'm just going to share one funny poem that's been around for a long time before you head on your way. So after you hear this, tell me if you've ever heard it before. This one's called Helping. How many of you like to help? Anybody a good helper? Sometimes, right? Yeah, it's nice. It gives you a good feeling. But let's think about what Shel has to say about this. Agatha Fry, she made a pie, and Christopher John helped bake it. Christopher John, he mowed the lawn, and Agatha Fry helped rake it. Zachary Zug took out the rug, and Jennifer Joy helped shake it. And Jennifer Joy, she made a toy, and Zachary Zug helped break it. And some kind of help is the kind of help that helping's all about. But some kind of help is the kind of help we all could do without. Right? What kind of help do you like to do? The breaking kind or the shaking and raking kind? Hope it's the shaking and what kind do you like to do? The good kind or the, I don't know, maybe I'll break the toy kind? You're thinking about it, aren't you? Well, thank you. We're going to, because you have big plans, I'm going to head up there, and Charlie has something to tell everybody about what's happening today.
Today for religious exploration, our kids and their leaders will be baking cinnamon rolls to share with the congregation. How do I get such good sundaes? I get Chris Rosser and cinnamon rolls. This delicious work supports our UU value of generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope that we covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our kids and youth and their leaders are generosity leaders. Now, children and youth, we invite you to religious exploration. We will sing you out of the sanctuary. You can meet your group leaders in the foyer or in Sandberg Hall. Look for someone holding up a sign. Parents, if you're new or visiting today, please escort your children to their class to meet the leaders and, more importantly, to know where to pick up your child after worship.
I'm going to invite Vinny up, and we have a very special part of our service today.
Good morning. I'm Vinny Zachertz. I am the Connections Coordinator here at UU Asheville, and I am so thrilled to have New Member Sunday today. And if you are listed on this list, Emily Breyer, come on down. Elizabeth Button, come on down. Elizabeth Clark,
Bring your card.
bring your card. Steph Garvin, Janet DeGrutola, I'm sorry if I missed it wrong. Catherine Keller, Lynn Patry, Diane Rom, Karen Stokes, Suzette Takai, James and May Louise Zumwalt.
Everyone here? We're coming right down here. Welcome, welcome. So joining a religious community is a significant undertaking. It's an act of faith and courage, of hope and optimism. It is a giving of the heart and hands into a community of people, counting on them to do their best and living up to the principles and covenants which bind us together. So today we honor you as you join the others who have made this step before you. Together, a new community is created. Together, it is our work to build the world of our highest vision, a world of peace, freedom, respect for all life, and a commitment to the light of liberal religion in a hurting world. So may we all be worthy of one another in this great work.
We welcome you today to join us in the celebration and work of community. We ask that you share your talents, ideas, and thoughtful concerns with us honestly and compassionately. As we promise to include and invite you into relationships that affirm our mission to grow together in love, to deepen spirituality, and to serve the world through commitment to justice within our freedom, through faith.
Let's save this so that they can have their hands free. We'll do that at the end. So now we invite you, our new members, to share your words together of covenant with this congregation. So you should read it from the card that you brought up with you. Freely. And at this time, I invite the members of the Unitarian Universalist congregation to rise as you're willing and able and share with our new members a statement of welcome and affirmation. And it should be printed on that sheet, or it is provided up here as well.
This morning, we covenant with you to make a place for you in our circle of friendship and trust.
We affirm that the life of our community is strengthened when new hearts and minds are embraced and included, as you and your gifts will be embraced and included. We promise to walk beside you, lend you comfort and encouragement on your spiritual journey, and to work together in love and for justice. We welcome you into fellowship at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Asheville. Yay! And we have gifts for you. I think Vinny has them. And the flowers will help you find them at coffee hour so that you can congratulate and welcome them personally. Do we have a book? Got it. Good. Thank you. You may be seated. Welcome, welcome. And now, after such joyful times, I invite you to take a moment now to quiet your heart, to find a deeper centering. If you're looking for a seat, there are plenty of seats here and over here. If you want to have a comfortable spot to rest in your body, take a deep breath as we share this time of prayer or meditation. Holy Spirit, gentle yet bold, encircle us this morning. Comfort grieving hearts. Wipe away tears. Bring peace to troubled hearts and minds. Grace-filled wonder, energize us today. Lift our spirits in gratitude and help us to widen our compassion and embrace love with new joy. Transformational love, help us center in awareness. Help us see and acknowledge all who labor. Let us be generous to those whose backs and hands make our lives possible. Let us bless one another with consideration and remind us at every turn that this world is one. We are not separate from the earth that feeds us, the water which births us, or the air that gives us breath. As goes the earth and all her creatures, so too do we go. Help us be brave and delighted stewards of a wondrous and resilient world. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. And now is the time that we are going to do a new ritual of joys and sorrows. And so, in safety and so that we don't burn one another today, and even by accident, we're going to share a ritual of rocks and water. And into this vessel here, the tall vessel, what we do is we sprinkle the tiniest bit of salt that represents the salt from our tears when we need to shed them. And into this vessel, we sprinkle flower petals to show the beauty and joy of a beautiful life and a beautiful earth. And so what we invite you to do is, if you have a joy or a concern that you would like us to hold or to represent, you can come forward and take a small rock. Please don't throw them. Drop them gently into the vessel that best represents what you need to share. If you're at home and you want us to hold you in our hearts, please just type your joy or concern into the chat, and we will represent you here as well. It will be easiest to access if you come through this space here instead of lining up here. So I invite you, if you would care to join us now in this ritual, to come and line up and place your rock in the vessel that speaks to your need. Care, and into which vessel? Sorrow, joy. Sorrow or joy? Sorrow or joy. And so at this time, if you have shared a joy, please know that we rejoice with you. If you've shared a sorrow, know that you are held in love and care by this community. And Charlie will be adding a rock to each vessel for all the joys and sorrows of our community that are carried by those who are not present with us today, because our community is one community whether we are gathered or apart.
If I met you on the corner, would I know you as you are? Would I take you as a stranger and brush past you in the door? If you call me, would I hear you? Would I walk away too soon? If I lingered for a moment, would I see myself in you? If I fought you like a soldier, if I had you in my sights, would you ask me to remember who imagined I was right? If you witnessed my surrender, do I know what I would do? If you held me like my brother, would I see myself in you? Well, I dreamed my end was near. I was almost gone. If I dream that dream from here, can I still come home? If you call me, would I hear you? Do I know what I would do? If you held me like my father, would I see myself in you? If you held me like my mother, would I see myself in you?
Those are big words to us. Words we can't live without. What if you have a house, but not a home? And I mean a spiritual home, a community in which to love and be loved. About 25 years ago, Rita and I left home for a new job and a new adventure. We'd been in Philadelphia with family and friends for a long time, but now we're in Springfield, Massachusetts, with a house but not a home. One of the streets we used to get around had a small sign on a corner, a couple of circles and a sort of flamey thing in the middle and an arrow. No words. One spring day, we turned down that beautiful tree-lined side street to see what that sign was all about. Whoa, this looks interesting, as we came upon a beautiful arts and crafts church building set in the woods. That evening, we asked the internet about this UU thing. Whoa, this really looks interesting. That next Sunday morning, we boldly walked in through the front door to a warm welcome and timidly found a seat in the back row near the exit in the sanctuary. You all know what happens next. I'm betting many here had a similar experience. The music was beautiful, and the Reverend George Ann Green knocked our socks off with a message of love. Coffee hour was a warm and welcoming postlude. We soon did all the newbie stuff and eagerly signed the membership book, and the next 10 years were so exciting as we dived into our UU world. No need to pretend to believe in the supernatural. No ministers making promises for which they could not be held accountable. Now we had a home to go with our house, a safe place, a safe space.
You're going to have to one day tell me why you set it up so that the minister has to go after things like that. I'm going to set these aside. So usually on Labor Day weekend, I like to aim for a barn burner of a pro-union sermon. And I have to note that this Labor Day arrives during the strikes of the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, and with the United Auto Workers having just approved a strike if talks with management don't progress, and others as well. UPS just successfully negotiated out of a strike. What was that, Starbucks? Yep, exactly. And with the news that a Gallup poll shows that 71% of Americans say they approve of unions, the highest percentage since 1965. Now, this comes as top corporate executives have seen their pay grow by more than 1,000%. 1,000% over the past 40 years, which is nearly 100 times the rate of the average worker, and that's according to a recent study. So, you know, there are plenty of things that we could talk about when it comes to the justice that we might dream of for workers, and Reverend Claudia is going to bring that heat very soon. But after the long journey that UU Asheville has been on over the last several years, I want to begin my time with you focusing a little inward before looking outward. After all, to care for the world, we have to be sure we're taking care of each other and ourselves. So my sermon today is going to begin with a creative interplay between one of Unitarian Universalist's great coaches, Michael Doral. He's a congregational coach, not a sports ball coach. And the spiritual challenge of these three essential questions from UU minister Reverend David Bumbaugh, who asked, what do we believe? Whom do we serve? To whom or what are we responsible? Now, a few years ago, I was teaching congregational polity, because I do be like that. I'm a little bit of a geek. The administration of mission-based institutions and responses to church conflict. This was at Iliff Seminary. And I had a class of 10 seminarians, and they were situated all throughout the United States. And one of the books that I had them read was Michael Durrell's The Almost Church, which is what he calls us. And he's really one of the more interesting congregational coaches working today. And interesting is an interesting word. But in his book, Durrell quotes Paul Wilkes, a religion editor at the New York Times, from his, Wilkes's book, Excellent Protestant Congregations. That's an exciting title. Where he says, religion should be a great adventure and not a leisure activity. Religion should be a great adventure and not a leisure activity. So here's a question. Is your religious life a great adventure? Is it central to your days and weeks, something that's constantly in the process of remaking you? Or is it something you tuck into the end of your week if you feel like it, if it's not easier to sleep in, if you don't have somewhere else you've decided to be? Religion should be a great adventure, not a leisure activity. So Durrell is one of those people who believes that our churches are dying. He thinks we're stuck in old patterns of worship and focus too intently on our own individual institution survival. And he believes that we faithful are more concerned with not offending people, but also making it as easy as possible for folks to just fit a life of faith into their leisure time. He thinks there's often little point to our congregations beyond being a liberal affinity group, or maybe a decent place to work together on social justice projects. Well, that's not nothing, right? Especially in conservative places, a sanctuary for progressive religion and the work that we do of caring for each other and our community, it matters. But Durrell, Wilkes, and our Universalist foreparents all believe our faith must do more than this. It must call us into spiritual lives of boldness. It must transform us and transform our communities. And it asks us, to whom do we belong? To whom are we accountable? What or whom do we serve? And Durrell says this. He says, I take notes frequently on what clergy and lay leaders tell me about their congregations. And while many churches are basically stable, though budgets always seem to be tight and at times little more than tweaks can be made, much of what I hear is disheartening. When I ask people what they yearn for, they offer compelling responses. This is what people yearn for. And he says, as he's taking notes, I yearn for a more adventurous congregational life. I hope for a willingness of our church to live more boldly. I yearn for a church-wide commitment to living the faith. I yearn for a stronger community with less emphasis on the individual. So hearing that hunger is for bold congregational living, focused not on individual needs, but on the vibrant power of community, he wonders why our mission statements read like this. All of these are examples of real UU mission statements. We unite to provide an environment which stimulates a free exchange and exploration of ideas. Or, to support each other in our various inward journeys toward truth. Or, a sharing, nurturing, and caring community which promotes spiritual growth and development along with religious and intellectual freedom. In Revelations 3:16, a letter to the church in Laodicea, the prophet claims God is not amused with a leisure time faith.
I know your deeds. You are neither cold nor hot. How I wish you were one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. I mean, surely we do not want to be spat from God's mouth. So Doral knows what our Universalist foreparents knew, that a faith that asks little of us, which is not inviting us on a great adventure, and which does not act to change the world and help us feel that we have a place to come home to, is a dead faith. The Universalists believe that, quote, we are all children of the same great love. We are all fated to a common destiny, and that nothing any of us might do will serve to sever us from that great community, and therefore there can be no division of human race into sheep and goats. In other words, they believed that we were already at home with one another if we would just live like it. We are all children of the same great love. We're all fated to a common destiny. These are great religious truths, and ones that lived fully definitely call us to a great adventure, because it demands that we see the Syrian refugee and the most vituperative name-calling politician as children of the same great love. And it reminds us that what happens on the West Bank or in Somalia or in Ukraine affects us. It reminds us that no matter how our bellies may feel at any moment, the fact is 48 million Americans, and 13 million of them are children, are food insecure. That affects us. It reminds us that when basic human rights for women and the trans and queer community are rolled back, it matters. We are all fated to a common destiny. And so, as I talk with seminary students and mentees, I remind them again and again that we are a people of covenant, not creed. What binds us isn't that we all believe the same things, but that we understand ourselves to be children of the same great love, called into action and to make the world the change we see, that we want to see. Now, about a week ago, I had one of those challenging moments, and it's interesting because just before we started the service, I had a conversation about this as well. I was really wrestling with what I read. You see, I've been a fan for a while of the Washington Post columnist Perry Bacon Jr. I've paid attention to him since he was a correspondent for 538, which is that politics and statistics organization, if you don't know about it. But at the Washington Post, Bacon, quote, focuses on two major themes: the growing radicalism of the Republican Party and the right, and the efforts, mostly on the left and among Democrats, to create a more just and equitable society. I'm quoting from the Post. I am not editorializing there. But recently, he wrote an article titled, "I Left the Church, and Now I Long for a Church for the Nuns," N-O-N-E-S. There's already a church for the nuns, N-U-N-S. Like so many Americans, somebody just got that. Like so many Americans, he left the church of his childhood because he could not believe in the theology. Too much supernaturalism, I guess. And he just didn't believe what they were preaching, but he misses it. And here's an excerpt which I really want to highlight. He said, "My upbringing makes me particularly inclined to see a church-size hole in American life. But as a middle-aged Black American in the middle of the country, I don't think that hole is just in my imagination. Kids need places to learn values such as forgiveness, while schools focus on math and reading. Young adults need places to meet a potential spouse. Adults with children need places to meet with other parents and some free babysitting on the weekends. Retirees need places to build new relationships as their friends and spouses pass away. Our society needs places that integrate people across class and racial lines. Newly woke Americans need places to get practical weekly advice about how to live out the inclusive anti-racist values they committed to during the Trump years. I'm just quoting. Now, interestingly, Washington Post writer Bacon wrote this just 2 days before the New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof wrote in his article, America is Losing Religious Faith. The loss of religious community has far-reaching implications. Congregations are a crucial part of America's social capital, providing companionship, food pantries, and a pillar of community life. There's also some evidence that religious faith, lots of evidence, that religious faith is associated with increased happiness and better physical and mental health. Now, obviously, I agree with Kristof, but you might consider me somewhat biased. I just want to add something to what Bacon and Kristof note about the value of religious communities. You see, they are third places, something we desperately need. Now, this term, which was coined by the sociologist Ray Oldenburg in the 1980s, essentially refers to a physical location other than work or home where there's little to no financial barrier to entry and where conversation and connection is the primary activity. We love the sound of babies, y'all. This is the future, so you feel comfortable. We love the sound of babies. So the historical examples that Oldenburg cites in his book, The Great Good Place, includes French cafes, German-American beer gardens, and English pubs, all of which appeal to people from a broad walk of life. However, other and more enduring examples include houses of worship, public parks, and other communal shared spaces. Now here's the thing, y'all. Today, one of the most frequented third space is, anybody know? Anybody want to guess? It's not Starbucks, but you're close, you're at least in the ballpark. It's McDonald's, where people gather for small groups, or parents watching their children play on the free indoor playgrounds, or people meet over cheap, and I mean cheap, food to chat. And I find that heart-rendingly painful. I don't want third spaces consigned to the cheapest corporate properties. And no other third place does what Bacon cries out for, as well as a Unitarian Universalist congregation. Learn moral values, support one another in joy and sorrow, meet and grow young and old together, learn how to live an anti-racist life, seeking collective liberation. Yes, transform the world because we are all children of the same great love. And remember, wherever we are going there together. So this is what we are trying to do here. We have this amazing third place where we gather and try to answer the big questions, where we're figuring out how to love and serve and to maybe disrupt church enough that it grows big enough for anyone who needs us. Now, the heartbreaking thing, some of you may know, about Bacon's article, this is the reason why it was so hard for me to read, is there was tucked in it this little heartbreaker. He said, "People have told me to become a Unitarian Universalist. Unitarian Universalist churches I have attended have overwhelmingly had white and elderly congregations and lacked the wide range of activities for adults and kids found at the Christian congregations that I was a part of." Ouch. Also, which ones did you go to, sir? We need to talk. So here's the thing, though, that we have to keep in mind every time we gather together. Religion should be a great adventure, not a leisure activity. We're gathering to create something in the world, and us along with it, something that the world desperately needs. We're here not to be comfortable, to have a cup of coffee with friends and hear some amazing music. That often happens. But what we're here to learn is how to uncover the very best of ourselves and each other, to love and serve and build a world that helps all the children of all species get free and live lives of hope and wonder and abundance. Now, there is a lot that gets in the way of that, but this place, this beautiful, joyful, and potentially powerful place is where we come together and try again and again to figure it out and to somehow get to that sunrise shore. So don't forget, you need to come home, to this home you make with these people and the people who are on their way, week after week. So don't forget to invite a friend or talk to a neighbor about what we're building here. 75% of people who come to a church come because someone they knew invited them. A better world takes courage, and it takes a lot of practice. It needs us to give it and each other everything we've got, because religion should, what? Be a great adventure, not a leisure activity. So friends, let's do this. Amen, Ashe, blessed be.
Wow, I think we all probably read that Perry Bacon story and had the same letdown, but thank you for that. It's time to sing again. Song 1021, Lean on Me. The words will be up here. Yeah.
Lean
See how we have difficulty clapping, don't we?
We're gonna get there.
Another 50 years. Hey, one of the nice things we do late in the service is welcome visitors. And I see a few visitors' name tags around. We're glad you're here. Gosh, thanks for being here. If you like, would you like to stand up and tell us your name and where you're from? The ushers will circulate with some mics. So, we got one right in the back here, and there's a few over here.
Testing. 1, 2. I'm Beth Bailey, and this is my spouse, Sean. And we are from Sarasota, Florida, and we also live here in Candler, North Carolina. We have been UU churchgoers since the early 2000s. When our young children attended the Charlotte Unitarian Church, the Open Door School, preschool. And we were hooked then, and we still continue to be hooked.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm Steve. I really like that Bill Withers song. That really struck home. That was very cool. Thank you.
Welcome.
I've been here for about 30 years, been all over the place, originally from Massachusetts, and I'm here at the invitation of my friend Ann. And this is pretty cool. Thank you.
But hello, my name is David Lippiott, and I am a new resident in Asheville as of 2 weeks ago. And got out after 4 long years in Florida. But I'm originally from California and have been to other UU congregations in Washington, D.C., Arlington, places like that, I've really, really enjoyed. And so I am hoping that this can become my new spiritual home and a really important part of community for me. So, thank you.
Hi, Jerry Nugent. My daughter, Rita, has been coming here for a few weeks, and I have joined her today. I also escaped Florida 2.5 years ago, and I can't even bring myself to go back there, to be honest. Friends invite me to visit. I can't go. Raised Catholic, will not go back there either. No. So David and I shared that we share that. And we met in line. So I look forward to, my grandsons have come here and will also be members, I believe. So it's going to be a family event. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Casey Gilbert. I live in South Asheville, and I've been a member at Unitarian Universalist congregations in both Portland, Maine, and Rockledge, Florida. So glad to be here with you all today, and I'm going to pass the mic to my new friend.
My name's Olive. I'm a student at Warren Wilson College in Swannanoa. I grew up in an evangelical free church, and it was a pretty toxic environment for me to exist in. Kind of like you were saying, looking for a church-shaped void is definitely something that I've been looking to fill, and I think that this could definitely be it. So thank you all.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Leif Nepstead. I'm from, been going to for a couple months the UU out in Swannanoa Valley. That's been an amazing place to find that spiritual home like you were talking about. I'm here today to kind of expand who I know in the UU community. So thanks for having me today. Really appreciate that.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Judith. I'm here visiting Deb and Bill, who generously donated their home to the auction at our church in UU Sarasota, Florida. So I live in Florida now. I've been there for about a year, and I was previously in Northern Virginia at the UU Congregation of Fairfax for about 30 years. And I'm here with my stepdaughter having a great time, about my second time in Asheville. And then I'm going back to Florida.
My voice is going to shake because I'm real nervous. Today's my 5th Sunday here. I've been a visitor all this time. Using my daughter's words, I've been waiting for my courage to come up. My name's Kylie, and I'm going through a real hard time, and I'm so glad to be here.
Good morning. I'm Lucy Gavlinsky. I'm here visiting with my husband. We've been living in Asheville for about 3 years, and this is the first Sunday morning I've had off of work to be here. So I came right from the hospital about, thanks, with 15 minutes to spare. It's my first time here, but our family is dabbling in the UU Church, and it seems like a really good place to be. So thanks for having me.
Okay.
Hey everybody, I'm Dina Bramley. This is Elijah Bright. I'm from Massachusetts. I think I've visited this church twice. I just want to reintroduce myself. I have 2 other kids. One's making cinnamon rolls, Atticus, and oh my goodness. And one is Noah, who's also little. And I'm also from Massachusetts.
Welcome to you too, and the kids.
I am Margaret. I am not a visitor. I'm a member here, but I'm hogging the microphone to invite all the newcomers and visitors to stop by the newcomer table in Sandburg Hall after the service so you can learn more about us.
Any more going once? This side, this side, this side. All right, thank you. Thanks very much. Please join us after the service. When you go into Sandburg Hall, it's going to smell like Cinnabon out there, I predict. It's that time of year, Vespers on Wednesdays starting again. And Reverend Audette has one announcement for me.
Just quickly, I want to let you know that I'm beginning a Thursday morning class that'll happen every Thursday morning. It's drop-in. You don't have to come to every one. It's actually virtual so that we can reach as many people as possible. This is a class called Life Abundant. I've been teaching it for over 3 years now. It was very, very popular in New York and sort of with the larger community, but I'm really eager to offer it here. So from 10 to 11 a.m., if you're ever available, we'll have that on Zoom, and it's a great way to meet other people and to have a little bit of beauty and reflection in your life. We're going to study philosophy and religion and sociology and neurobiology. It's great. Join me if you can. I hope to see many of you there on Zoom on Thursday mornings.
Thank you. Announcements. The most exciting thing we do now. If you tuned in late or got here late and missed the announcement slides, they're all in Thursday's weekly e-news and on the homepage of our website. If you don't receive the e-news, ask an usher. They'll show you how to sign up for that. Our community plate partner this month is Transmission, and we will have someone from Transmission with us next week to share about their story about their work. Transmission is the leading organization in Western North Carolina for education, advocacy, and support for non-binary and transgender folks. Please join in to support them. Donate to Transition by text and select Community Plate, or by check to UU Asheville with Community Plate in the memo line. It's now time for our morning offering. If this is your first time here, let the collection plate pass you by. This service is our gift to you, and your presence is your gift to us. Today's offering will now be collected.
To hide what's going on. Your story's all over town. But it's alright if everything's all wrong. Come on down to the crying ground. Dark skies feels like rain. Well, look at all those thunderclouds. I'll bet that dam is just about to break. Come on down to the crying ground. Come on down to the crying ground. Let your tears be holy water rolling down your face. Ain't no disgrace. Come on down to the crying ground. Well, I can see you wanna steal away. Well, you will never be found. Well, sometimes everybody feels this way. So come on down to the crying ground. Come on down to the crying ground. Let your tears be holy water rolling down your face. Ain't no disgrace. Come on down to the crying ground. No need to tell me what you're going through, 'cause sister, I've been right where you are now. You know exactly what you need to do. So come on down, 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 down. Come on down, 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 down. Come on down to the crying ground. We are talking holy water rolling down your face. Ain't no disgrace. Come on down to the crying ground. Come on down to the crying ground.
Aren't we lucky? Thank you, Chris. Thank you all for the gifts of your time, talent, presence, and financial resources. We are truly grateful. Once again, Chris Rosser will give us music to meet the moment. His own song, There Is a Light.
And please sing along. Simon's going to put the words up on the chorus. It's very simple. There's a light, there's a light. A light at the end of this road. There's a light, like a guide that's shining. It's with us wherever we go. It's going to be great. It's easy to feel lost, riding down this human path. Test some trust and faith out on. I wrote this song, I should know the words. I guess we call it progress if we're roughly headed the same way. All these different directions will end up in the same place. 'Cause there's a light, there's a light at the end of this road. There's a light like a guide, it's shining. It's with us wherever There'll be detours and breakdowns, accidents and pain. When that spark of hope grows dark in the fog and rain, hey, I've been bumper to bumper. Mostly I'm alone, with tests of trust and faith out on these back streets of my home. But there's a light, there's a light at the end of this road. There's a light like a guide, it's shining, it's with us wherever we go. Oh, remember, we made tribes out of families. We turned cities into states. Now a planet of separate nations. Oh, evolution won't stop today. Hey, maybe we crawled up from the mud. Maybe we swung from the trees. But that science was guided by love. At least it seems that way to me. 'Cause there's a light, there's a light at the end of this road. There's a light like a guide, it's shining, it's with us wherever we go. There's a light, there's a light, there's a light, there's a
So as we prepare to rejoin the wider circle of the world, I share one of my favorite benedictions. It was written by the Reverend Wayne Arneson. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. Will you please rise now in body or spirit? We're going to share our special UU Asheville closing song, and then you're welcome to join us in Sandberg Hall for coffee and fellowship.